Hello my YouTube friends. Today I'm going to show you how to steal the Martian gem in the Roblox game of Space Sailors. Here I am starting the video at a landing site, or you may call it the base. Find a rover that is behind a huge wall and start the long journey of driving 15.2 kilometers. If you plan to do it in a public server, I suggest you bring a friend with you, as the rover will despawn in 2 minutes as soon as you leave it. And believe me, you'll be leaving the rover for a ton of time. This is going to be a long video, and so you'll see me fast forwarding it. Enjoy the time lapse. I will be going at normal speed as I reach a distance of around 15 kilometers from the landing site. At this time, look to your right, and if you had followed my instructions, then you will be rewarded with a visual of the Martian pyramid. Congratulations, you made it. Also keep in mind that the pyramid will show up on your device of choice, which is high graphics. If that isn't the case, just follow what I do, and you'll be able to make it as you make it closer to the pyramid. Enjoy the time lapse. Now comes the interesting part. We are now reaching the base of the pyramid. Make sure to turn your rover to the direction of the landing site. As you can see, there's a 2-minute timer as I left my seat. This is where you'll need your buddy. He needs to take the driver's seat to stop the timer while you steal. Exit the rover and head to the top of the pyramid. This part of the video is going to be at normal speed as a lot of things will happen. When you steal the gem from the pyramid, keep in mind that there are going to be two crazy things that are going to happen. One, there is going to be this crazy dust storm, which is going to make the sky really dark. You cannot see anything. So you can increase your exposure when the dust storm hits. I will show you that later. And two, the Martian gem will damage you over time. So, stop every 1 to 2 kilometers so you can regen your health. So, while you're climbing up the pyramid, and actually, something that I have noticed is that when you get close to the pyramid, if you have recorded an observation, discard it and wait for you to record another one, because then you're gonna get an interesting one. Put this in your lander. I forgot to put mine in, but they're pretty much all the same, and plus I got the gem, which is what matters. Okay guys, here comes the moment of the truth. We're at the top of the pyramid and we are going to steal this gem. There's a story about it, which I can tell you later. But let's steal this pyramid and get the heck off this mountain, or pyramid, or whatever you want to call it. So as I said, there's going to be this dust storm. Turn up your exposure, but don't do so too quick, or the screen will get way too bright and you might flash yourself. Now, speaking about the second rule, as I told you, that Martian gem will damage you over time. As you can see, I'm trying to put the exposure up. But as you can see, in the top right, you see my health bar. You see how it's going down? So, when you get to the bottom of the pyramid, drop the gem by pressing backspace, or I don't know, on mobile. So I suggest you do it on a computer. here we are at the bottom of the pyramid. As you can see, I have pressed backspace, and also I'm also going AFK so I can get my buddy out of the driver's seat and so he can get to the driver's seat. And after that, I sit in the driver's seat and we take off, stopping every 1 to 2 kilometers to regen your health. As I said previously, you have to stop every 1 to 2 kilometers to regen your health. So, what I suggest you do at that stop is, to just wait till you have full health. And also, when you leave, keep your door open so you don't have to open and close your door. And plus, as you might have just seen, when I sat for the first time with the gem, I did not go. So that technically means the vehicle is stuck. But it isn't the end of the world. Technically, you can get out of your seat and go in again, and repeat the process until the vehicle moves. It might remove in the second time. You never know. Here we are going to start the biggest time lapse. The video will not stop pausing until around almost the end of the video when we're 2 kilometers when I actually get lost. So enjoy the time lapse until then. Around 30 minutes of real-time time later, we have reached 2.8 kilometers. We think we're going to make it, just fine, but then all of a sudden, we're at 2.8 kilometers, it goes up to 2.9 kilometers, as you might have seen. I get worried, thinking that I might not make it, but then it goes back down to 2.8 kilometers. But then, things, let's say they did not go out so well. I mean, they did go well. Here comes another funny part of when I got lost. I was at 2.7 kilometers and we went back up to 2.8 kilometers, but then we went back down. So, we actually went back down to 2.7 kilometers. As you can see, we are doing a stop right here. You can learn from this. So, after the stop, we go on smooth sailing until 1.5-ish kilometers from the landing site. So that's also when I get lost, and that's when I start to pray. And yes, shenanigans happened. So if you do not want to see me suffer, just skip, and probably that's going to be in a time lapse. So just Around this time, I was very worried since we were at 2.8, 2.7 for a long time, but patience is a virtue, and we went down for a little bit until around 1.5, just like I said in the last time. So you can watch the time lapse and enjoy it, and also look at the distance from the landing site, because that's when we actually start to pray, which was funny. So yeah, enjoy the time lapse. Here is where I got lost and started praying, but thankfully went in the right direction and things went smoothly. Here comes the funny part. We thought we were good, but we hit a rock and we ended up having to ditch the rover. Thankfully, I could see a lander over there, and I thought it was mine. So I'm gonna tell you about that later. We ditched the rover and we got our friend. But then I realized that this was my buddy's lander, so we just had to walk to my lander, which was all the way on the other side of the base. So we walked there, we had a little time lapse, we healed up a little bit, and yes, we got another rover. But as fate would have decided for me, I got stuck. But thankfully, this time I was able to get out of it. But now I got stuck again and I ended up having to ditch the rover. My buddy was confused, and so now what you do is when you're at your lander, you have to put your thing, your gem, inside the cargo bay. This is the point of the video when I said hasta la vista Mars. Well, I wouldn't really miss the planet anyway, although I would. Here comes my buddy inside the lander. I checked a final time. I checked him. He was inside, and so we left safe and sound. Happy ending, right? So a few seconds from now, there's going to be a little bit of a time lapse, just showing our depart from Mars. And around this time, I would suggest you turn down your exposure. It might seem a little dark. Now leaving Mars's atmosphere and entering another time lapse. Now comes the big question. How much money would I earn off this? Well, I ended up earning till 71,482. I've put a lot of effort into making this video. I would really appreciate it